Welcome back, diecast collectors and car enthusiasts. Got a haul video for you right now. It's only early January, but I figured I'd show you guys what I've got so far anyways, because I've got some cool stuff here we're going to be looking at. Mostly M2 actually, and some pretty exclusive vehicles, as well as some Walmart exclusives and some first cuts. We're going to get everything out of the package here, and we're also going to be looking at a few other things just briefly at the end of this video, some of my other hobbies and other collections. My pride and joy for my 1/64 scale collection this month is this piece here, which I just picked up off of eBay from a seller in the US of A. It's from the SEMA convention, limited to 600 pieces, and this is the reason why I bought this piece primarily. This Ford F100. Look at the wheels on this thing, look at the detail, the paint job. We're going to get it out of the package and look at it a lot closer, but also the truck, the matching truck, also a Ford L600 I believe. Just really cool with a flatbed trailer that I don't have one of these, or C600. It's a Ford C600. But I don't have a trailer like this, and so it's a new piece. In the theme of the auto haulers, which are commonly available at certain department stores around your area, depending on your country. You can pause on that to read it if you wish. Slide it out of the package here. So you can see there's the cardboard sleeve that it comes in, just like all auto haulers. Plastic piece on the end. And then it's got this really cool plastic Lexan display case that you can remove quite easily just by pulling up on it. You can see there it is in the background. Nice piece to hold on to. We don't need that anymore. I have no intention of putting it back in the packaging, so that's why I threw it off the table. But here we go. Before I unscrew it from the base, because it is screwed with 4 screws, and then the truck is further screwed with 2 more screws to the trailer, let's take a quick look at it without my thumbs and fingers all in the way, and appreciate the details that go into these M2 vehicles. Certainly these exclusives. You can see the all the individual parts and paint jobs and tampo work on this thing. The horns on the roof, right down to the detailed wheels and signal lights and headlights. Loving that toolbox on the back with all of those tires, and these, my friends, are rubber tires. And look at that. They're separate pieces too. I imagine there's some sort of axle through all of them, because I can't just rip them off, and they're not going to fall off on their own. So, got a chrome fuel tank in there as well. There is the truck. It's got that little plastic piece in there. So now we've got the hood shut. It's also got the door. The doors are shut with that rubber elastic, which will just snip off with my knife, and we should be able to get those doors open carefully without wrecking the paint. Look at that. Really nice piece. Let's get this thing off of the display panel and compare it to another vehicle that we're going to be opening up very quickly here. The Ford F250 Ranger truck by M2. Same casting, I believe, as the F100 that you're looking at here. A little bit of a wobbly wheel. I think the tire's coming off. There we go. That fixed that problem. Check out the ground clearance on this truck. That is just awesome. Let's get some play action going here. Got the truck and the trailer. Locks onto that tractor, no problem. And as I suspected, this ramp does indeed extend. Look at that. So we got the truck driving up the ramp onto the trailer. Now the ramp slides in, and there you go. Pretty cool. Very nice set, very well put together. A lot of play value as well as collector value, obviously with the limited production. And let's move right along onto another similar vehicle as far as the truck goes. This is one of the shop trucks exclusive to Walmart, only at Walmart. I did a video earlier this week, or last week I think, it was less than a week ago anyways, what I had as far as shop trucks, but I didn't have the full set, and I was missing this one as well as this one. We've got the Ford F-250 as well as the 58 Apache service truck, and I still am missing the Ford F-100. I think it's a 56 Ford F-100, but it's cartoonized, so I actually had an opportunity to buy it when I was in the stores, and I just chose not to because I don't collect things that aren't actual scale anymore. I only collect true scale vehicles, so anything that's been kind of cartoonized, as I call it, that's my own proprietary word, I don't usually collect them. This, however, has not been cartoonized. This is a very authentic F-250 Ranger truck. You can see the suspension difference already just between the two of these trucks. Look at how much higher this F-100 sits, even side by side. Let's do an engine comparison. We've got very different engines, that much is for sure, but otherwise vehicles are very similar. They do have different grills now that I'm looking at them. This is what's so awesome about M2 and other scale manufacturers at this level of automotive collectability, is you're getting very authentic changes year to year. When they say you've got a 1970 Ford versus a 1969 Ford, you're actually seeing real differences. You're not going to find this on regular toys that you find, you know, for $1 or $1.50 or whatever. Very cool. Same truck casting, but they've got those awesome little differences as far as the front grills, and you know, the tampo work is just awesome. Okay, well, I'm gonna cut to the chase here. We've opened up a bunch of packages here, the shop trucks. Look at this one. We've got the Chevy Apache service truck with the opening doors. Once again, amazing detail on this thing. You can see the interior, the tampos. It's got the opening hood with a detailed engine. Very cool truck. It's even got a little tiny trailer hitch on the back. Of course, these are true 1/64 scale. They roll really nice too. I mean, all these vehicles roll really nice. Here we've got the Ford Econoline van. No opening parts in this one, but it's got lots of separate pieces made up of a lot of different parts. And one of my favorite castings from M2 this year. Rounding out the last of my shop trucks, we're going to take a look at this Dodge L600. It's got a utility box, like a stake bed box on the back of it, which is removable. It's just clipped on there with 3 little clips, so that's pretty cool. And then you end up with a very clean looking flatbed. Check out the details on this one too. We couldn't probably see these when it was in its box before in the last video, but or maybe you could have, I'm not sure. But really nice to see it loose with all those little horns and signal lights and front bumper hooks and all the rest of that stuff. And then we've got this one here, the 56, I think, yeah, 56 Ford COE Custom. Really cool with those big dual pipes sticking up out of the back from under the cab. The window tampo, red line tires with those chrome rims, dualies on the back. Nice big truck. So we're not going to spend too much more time looking at these. We got to keep the video moving. We got lots more cool stuff to look at. And one more M2 that we're going to look at. is this really cool 69 Plymouth Roadrunner. And this piece is limited to 5,000 pieces, which is pretty cool. It's fairly limited. And what a beautiful bright orange paint job they've got on it. Very detailed motor, of course. I'm just really a big fan of this car in real life, and they did a really nice job with this color combination on it and the detail. There she is, out of the package. Doors open fully and very smoothly, I might add. Got the little tiny windows on them as well. Hood closes perfectly. Very nice, clean looking car. Everything closes really nice and tight. Rolls not half bad, no wobbly wheels. Let's get these first cuts cracked out. You can see they come in a nice little display box. It's got a little bit of information on the back there. You can pause on that if you want, but it's all pretty much the same for each one of these containers. So the idea is here that you get the raw casting and then a nicely repainted one, same casting but repainted with all the details. These are actually some of the nicest display cases I've ever seen with a 1/64 scale vehicle. Big, super clear Lexan top. And check this out. I thought they were plastic. This is why it's so nice to open this stuff up. It's got like a stitched, maybe simulated leather. Might be real leather, you never know. Stitched leather, let's call it leather, base here on top of a very sturdy plastic platform, which really lets you look at these trucks nicely. For those of you that have the room to display these, they are very handsome. And finally, I was so excited to see these come out. I'm not a particular fan of any one vehicle. I like all vehicles equally. They all have their pros and cons, but it was nice to see the new Fords come out, because I was starting to wonder if they were going to get the licenses to Ford, because we've seen Dodge for so long and we've seen some other Chevys, but now Chevys are starting to make a good appearance. They've got quite a few paint jobs on this one now. Let's take a look at this one. I don't normally do a big song and dance about mainline Hot Wheels and Matchbox, but as a Jeep fan, this one really is cool. Got a Jeep Willys 4x4 right here. Oftentimes the scale is right on the bottom of these Matchbox vehicles, unlike Hot Wheels. Yeah, there it is right in the corner, 1/64 scale, so that is the proper scale next to all these accurately scaled 1/64 scale green lights. These buses, however, probably more of like a 1/78 or 1/80th scale, I think. Maybe not that small, but certainly they should be a bit bigger next to these other vehicles. I just picked them up. They're actually wind-back buses. But I like them. These are really cool old-style buses. They are actually, would be pretty old. And I remember on a trip to California years ago seeing these things all over the place. It's almost like they've got a restored fleet of I forget what type of bus this is called. I'm going to have to look into that. Probably doesn't say. Nope, doesn't say anything on the base at all. But it's got these nifty little doors that open. The wind back with the rubber tires. So I was going to do some custom work or something with them. Just kind of neat. Got little signs that come out, little stop signs. I think I only paid about $6 for these things, so I thought that was worth it. I also have a collection and still collect 1/24 scale model kits. And I just picked this one up. It was brand new in the stores not too long ago. You should still be able to find this. I got it at Walmart in Florida. Pretty cool. Another thing, 1/18 scale. This is actually a 1/21 scale of the Ecto1 with the Slimer. He's up in the corner right there. You should be able to see him. This is a pretty sought after piece. I bought this years ago at my local Toys R Us here in Ontario. And just kind of, it's never even left the box. It's been in there since day one. I've got tons of these big cars. I just don't have the room to display them, so they're all just kind of in boxes in other parts of my my basement, which in 2016 I'm going to be slowly converting the entire basement of my house into a Hot Wheels man cave of sorts. It's not going to be just the Hot Wheels room. It's going to spread. So any room that I find, and I probably will, I'm going to start having other little sections in the rooms. And you know, have maybe a few videos out of all the videos I make, kind of featuring other things in different scales. So, speaking of other scales, check out this Jeep Rubicon 1/10 scale. This thing's enormous and quite heavy. So this is an RC vehicle, and it's no toy. This is a Axial SCX-10. And check out the chassis on this thing. Means business. It's got full suspension. It's got an electric brushed motor, transfer case, true four-wheel drive, locking differentials. Pretty mean machine. Which it's winter here in Canada. There's snow on the ground, but that's not going to stop me from having some fun with this thing and possibly putting a few videos out of this beast here. Thanks to RC Sparks, another Canadian YouTuber. Got lots of info from his channel on how to waterproof one of these big beasts, and that's exactly what I've done. Waterproof the heck out of it. Boom! Well, let's take one last close look at this SCX-10 chassis before I put the body on, and I'm just going to give you a quick little peek of what this thing looks like driving around with the body on it. But a short overview here. It's been customized a bit. You can see I've got tape on a lot of the connections, new solder points. I've eliminated the on-off switch, so now once you plug it in, it's on right away. I've relocated the battery to the front. It was at the back before, but better to have the weight on the front wheels for uphill crawling. And I've taken apart the transmission. Both axles have been taken apart, and I filled those full of marine grease. Greased all the drive shafts on it, all the wheel bearings, hanger bearings for the axles, and waterproofed the servo on the front, the steering servo, with Plastidip, and waterproofed everything else inside. All the circuits and all the brains of this thing basically have been Plastidipped, including the battery, which is a LiPo lithium polymer battery. If these things get wet, they explode. So that's kind of what's been going on with this thing. Let's take a little tour of the Hot Wheels room from a whole nother angle never seen before. From the roof of a 1/10 scale Jeep. I'm still mastering my driving with this thing. It's not exactly 100% happening currently. Back into the Hot Wheels room. Oh yes, back where we started. Alright. We'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for staying tuned.